Hey guys, what's up? Ellen here. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be teaching you guys how to fake your Chinese if you don't actually speak it. Now, we all know that Mandarin is an exceptionally complex language, and for some people it takes years and years of studies to be able to speak it. Now, this is partially true because Mandarin is a tonal language, which means that unless you learn how to pronounce the words in certain intonations, chances are people won't understand you anyway, even if you've learned your vocabulary. Let's look at the word ma. If you spell it like this means horse, but if you spell it like that, it means mother or ma. And here comes the trick, guys. These two words have a different pronunciation. In the first case, you will pronounce it as ma. Do you see the little tick over A? That's sort of where your intonation should be going. And in the second case, you will read the word as ma, ma. I'm not even sure if I'm doing this right. Now, I know what you gotta be thinking, guys. These two words sound absolutely the same, right? Wrong. Chinese people will know the difference. And this is kind of annoying, right? Because you've been putting a lot of effort into this. You've been practicing in front of the mirror for hours to be able to go out there and brag about how good your Mandarin is. But the thing is, even after all this practice, you might not be getting the intonations right. And you might go and say this to a Chinese person and they will still go, 什么? Which means, what are you saying? Or the worst case scenario is you're probably gonna call someone's mom a horse. Anyway, this is just a quick wrap up of what all your efforts of learning Chinese are gonna look like. But you know, if you still wanna learn it, all you have to do is watch this video till the end, make some notes, and your Chinese is gonna be basically as good as mine is, which is not that great. I don't know why I said that. Naturally, the first thing you're gonna learn when learning a new language is how to say hello and goodbye. Ni hao stands for hello in Mandarin, and 再见 stands for goodbye. I am totally butchering that word right now. The second thing you'll need to learn are your directions. These are especially useful when you are in a taxi or simply on the street asking for directions. 右转 stands for turn right in Mandarin, and 左转 respectively means turn left. By the way, I'm not sure if this is working for you guys. I mean, from your side of the screen, this might be turn right and that might be turn left or the other way around. So, I mean, just listen to me, don't look at my gestures. 直走 means go straight. And attention, I'm gonna totally butcher this one. 近在这里 means stop here. The next thing we're gonna learn is how to say yes and no. 对 stands for yes in Mandarin, but the trick is to use it as many times as you can when you're having a conversation. Let's pretend we are having a conversation and you know, you ask me something and now you're waiting for me to confirm it. Saying 对 won't do the trick. What I have to do is go 对对对对对对对对对 不是 means no in Chinese. Also, a useful word to learn is 不要, which means I don't want it. Also, you want to remember the word 没有, which means we don't have. I'm not sure about the literal translation of this expression, but they will use this a lot if you are in a supermarket and you just ask for a product that they don't have. People will simply say 没有, which means we don't have it over here. That brings us to number 4. Shopping. The first thing you're gonna ask when in a supermarket or in a shop is how much does this or that cost? 多少钱 means how much in Mandarin. Ideally, if you're asking about a specific thing, then ask 这个多少钱, which means how much does this cost, where 这个 stands for this. And what the sellers are gonna say after this is they're gonna name the price for a certain item, and that brings us to numbers. Numbers are probably the funnest thing to learn in Chinese because you will get all those special gestures which Chinese people use for counting. Now I'm going to show you guys how Chinese people count using their hands. 一 means 1, 二 means 2, 三 means 3, 四 means 4, 五 means 5. And what I'm gonna do right now, I'm gonna keep counting till 10 using only one hand. Okay, so I'm gonna hide this hand away. 六 means 6. 七 means 7. 八 means 8. 九 means 9. And 十 means 10. I wonder if I can do this faster. 一二三四五六七八九十 I suck at this. 一二三四五六 What was that about? I totally suck at this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm good! The next thing we're gonna learn is how to order food at a restaurant. The most important phrase you need to learn is 不要辣椒, which means I don't want my food to be spicy. Now, a lot of you will say, it's okay, we don't mind spicy food. Now, you guys don't know, what are you talking about? Chinese food is not just spicy, it is mental spicy. And you're gonna absolutely need this phrase if you don't want to die on your first day in China before you even saw the Great Wall. A useful phrase for vegetarians, 不要肉, which means I don't want meat. Also, a very important phrase for cool drink lovers, 冰的, which means a lot of ice or very cold. This is a fun thing I learned when I was in China. Chinese people don't drink cool drinks or cold drinks. What you're gonna get is either gonna be warm, hot, or gonna be room temperature, because this is what Chinese culture is like. Chinese people think that hot water is the key to solving any health issue there is. I remember when I had a stomachache in China, or I had a headache, or my nose was bleeding, or whatever it was, people were suggesting go drink some hot water. They even have a funny saying about this. They say that a human's body consists of 70 or 80% of water or whatever, but a Chinese person's body consists of 70% of hot water. Now let's presume you want to compliment the food that you just ate. What you're gonna say is 这个好吃, which means this is really delicious. Another way to say it is 我喜欢, which means I like. For example, if I'm to say I like water, I would say 我喜欢水. Now, how do you find the toilet? All you have to do is say 厕所吗, which sort of means toilet. Ma is the word you'll put at the end of each sentence to form a question. So for instance, if I was about to say, is this water in my glass? Then I would say 水吗, which means like water? Is this water? The next thing that is really important to learn is how to have a small talk. When you first meet a Chinese person, they're naturally gonna ask your name. This sounds like 你叫什么名字? I hope I'm saying that right. That was a long sentence. I'm gonna repeat it one more time. 你叫什么名字? And what you're gonna answer to this is 我的名字是 Ellen. And naturally, if your name is not Ellen, don't put Ellen there. Just put your name instead. Hope that's clear. If they ask 你几岁, that means they are asking about your age. So what you answer to this is 我26岁, where 26 means 26. And again, if you're not 26 years old, please make sure you're gonna put your own number over there. Another question you'll get asked a lot is where are you from, or which country are you from? In Mandarin, this sounds like 你来自哪个国家? And what you answer to this is 我来自亚美尼亚, which means I am from Armenia, where 我来自 means I am, I come from. And again, if you're not from Armenia, please learn to say the name of your country in Chinese and just put it over there. If you are a foreigner in China, a lot of Chinese people will compliment your beauty. What they'll most likely say is 你很漂亮, which means you are pretty, you are beautiful. And in order to be polite about this, what you're gonna say is 谢谢, which means thank you. Another thing you're gonna hear a lot, both from Chinese people and foreigners studying Chinese, is 我爱你, which means I love you. Now, what do we say to this? 谢谢. Or what you can say is 对不起. Now, here comes my favorite part. Let's learn some bad words. Now, the first thing we're gonna learn is how to say in Chinese. This word sounds like. Also, important words to learn are. Let's just move to the last tip for the day. This is a tip that I learned from one of my foreign friends who was living in China for a long time, and he taught me how to create an impression that you speak better Chinese than you actually do. So suppose you're having a conversation with a Chinese person and he just said something that you didn't understand. What you have to do is simply say 什么, which means what, to just create an impression like you are re-asking and asking him to repeat what he just said so that you can hear better. Once they repeat what they said, simply say 不知道, which means I don't know. And this will create the impression that you actually understood what he said, but you simply don't know the answer to what he's asking. And if they keep staring at you, then probably what they asked was, what did you have for lunch today? And what you answered was, I don't know, and you just made a complete idiot out of yourself. I mean, it's okay, not a big deal. These things happen, but this trick works 90% of the time. So guys, these were my tips for today, how to improve your basic Chinese or how to fake your Chinese if you actually don't speak it. If you liked this video, please make sure to subscribe because I have a lot of fun content coming up in the future. Also, don't forget to check out my Instagram because that is where I upload most of my content. And I really hope you guys are having a wonderful week, and I'll see you real